This is the Aftermarket Radio Network.
Welcome to episode 0 of Speak Up. I'm Craig O'Neill, and my goal in this show is to build the foundations of good communication. I want to say thank you to our partners. Looking to take your shop to the next level of quality service, team culture, and overall profitability? At the Institute, we provide personalized coaching that aligns with your goals of financial stability, excellent customer service, and employee satisfaction. Our priority is helping you establish significant and sustainable progress. We work with you to create strategies that reduce the stress of running your business, improve your quality and performance, and optimize your profitability. Experience the benefits of professional coaching by visiting wearetheinstitute.com/business-assessment. Hey friends, as you know, I'm a proud member of the AutoFlow team, and let me tell you, we've changed how business is done for auto shops everywhere. We support your client experience before, during, and after the work is done. Imagine this: timely updates sent directly to your clients, branded digital vehicle inspections, and seamless communication from start to finish. That's why shops love AutoFlow. And hey, with those 5-star reviews rolling in, you'll wonder how you ever managed without us. Take an important next step and take your auto shop to the next level. Visit www.autoflow.com. Get on board with an AutoFlow trial. Are you ready to meet your perfect auto repair shop management software partner? Well, say farewell to the days of transactional relationships and hello to a true partnership that elevates your business. The #1 all-in-one solution is AutoLeap. You're not just getting software, you're gaining a dedicated ally committed to your success. AutoLeap will help you sell more, save time, and delight your customers at every turn. From scheduling appointments to creating estimates, generating invoices, managing technicians, and seamlessly syncing with QuickBooks to keep your records updated. Experience the difference a true partnership makes. Visit Autoleap.com and book a demo today. Autoleap, your trusted partner for success. You know what I appreciate about my friend Jeremy Glasgow, founder of AppFueled? It's his passion. Specifically, his passion for helping shops convert clients to members. What's the difference, you ask? Jeremy can tell you. Members visit and make necessary purchases more often and more confidently. Any shop can become proficient with creating a membership base using AppFueled. Get started today by visiting appfueled.com and build your first app like a pro. Want to see your auto repair shop thrive? Are you looking to drive more customers to your auto repair shop? Let ShopDog Marketing be your guide. Our customer-first approach, combined with AI-driven creative content, ensures top rankings. Dominate mobile-first and voice search with our specialized expertise. Reach out to ShopDog Marketing today and start growing your business. Don't miss out on this chance to boost your business. Visit ShopDogMarketing.com. Now, with me today is Carm Capriotto, and I think it's worth asking Carm here a relevant question to, hey, how did we get here? This is exciting.
It is. Welcome to the Aftermarket Radio Network, Craig O'Neill. Oh my God, we're so happy to have you. Speak Up's the name of the podcast, and you're joining all of our other just terrific podcasters that we speak to the automotive aftermarket to make all of us better. Remember, listen to learn just one thing from his show too. Speak Up. Man, how do we do this? Well, there's a great story. We're at ASTE. You come into the studio. We're with Tracy, Sarah, Frazier, your boss, Chris Cloutier, and we're doing this show on Toastmasters because we started a remarkable results.biz/Toastmasters. And we were kind of in it for 6 months at the time, Craig, and I just love Toastmasters. We've got a great little group. We meet twice a month. And so we're done with the episode and everything, and you leave and close the door behind you guys in the studio. And I look at Tracy and I go, there's our next Aftermarket Radio Network podcast right there. He's walking out the door, the guy with the long hair.
Yeah, the guy with the bald hair wasn't the one. No, you know what's funny is me and Chris, we thought of the concept Speak Up as a class for ASTE and other events. We'll be teaching very soon at STX when we're recording this. That'll probably have happened by now. But this course that we designed is focused on communication skills, because we realized this isn't something that we're doing at our training events. We do it very targeted. We do it very, very specific. We do it for a service advisor, for a specific purpose of selling. And then there's some leadership classes and whatnot, but we aren't really talking about the language of leadership, the communication skills that go into it. And if you look at anything regarding communication, it's a little bit of a nerve-wracking piece for a lot of people. Glossophobia is the term that we use in Toastmasters regularly for that fear of public speaking. And it's 76% of all people, 3/4, let's just say, of all people have a significant amount of anxiety regarding communication that manifests itself in so many ways.
But Craig, park that whole thing on the side about public speaking and stop to realize that when we're talking to our kids, when we're talking to our wife, when we're talking to a client, when we're talking to an employee, we're talking to a great friend, we're talking to mom or dad. I pretty much got them all almost there. We are communicating. So we could have the fear of public speaking, but when it's our turn to set a rule, to agree or disagree, to set an opinion, we're really communicating.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter if your audience is 2 or 2,000. The skill sets that are involved in order to convey an idea clearly with the right tone and emotion, that's something that requires practice. And there's techniques that go into all of this. And these techniques are discussed in a number of circles, but we're not discussing them regularly in our circle here in the aftermarket. And I think that this is an important place to do so, because I've grown up in this industry my entire life. I have been exposed to both good examples and bad examples, and good outcomes and bad outcomes too. And I was raised in a time period where the stigma of this industry was really obvious to me. It was obvious from a point of being in school, with the faculty members in some cases showing my parents disrespect because my dad is an automotive mechanic. And I always thought it was so odd, because dad's a hero to me. The things he can do and accomplish, and hanging out at the shop and seeing what these people are like, and the good hearts and the good nature of everyone there, didn't resonate with me.
Right. Well, the stigma of our industry is very unprofessional, and we are working our butts off here at the podcast, and with me trying to get a language shift in the industry to lift our level of professionalism. And when I look at all the people that are on the Aftermarket Radio Network, everyone has their unique bring to the industry. And I've heard you speak. I cling to every word you say. And so why not get a podcast in the network that's all about how to make us better communicators? I think it's a perfect title for this show, because you are a great communicator.
I appreciate that. I like to say, though, I don't feel like a great communicator. I am, however, and I will claim this all day, I'm very, very motivated to become a better communicator. And I'm on a journey, and I've been put on that journey by my mentors and leaders that have gone before me. And there's so much room for improvement. I'm going to make some mistakes. I'll fail over and over again. I'm a parent of teenagers, and I catch myself failing in communication with them on a regular basis.
Guilty. Yeah.
And I find it, even as a leader at the team in my organization, as an individual in my community, there's these moments of reflection that I have that have consistently evolved over a long period of time. I know there are some people listening that will probably remember working with me, my brother, my dad, my grandfather, in our family business, that'll think, oh, these guys in communication, like, oh my goodness, you're going to remember some years. And there were some years where communication, that the methods that we were using, hugely ineffective.
Yeah, they were. I come from a family business too, and I think a great point that you just brought up is Craig is from the industry, transmission shop. I mean, you get what we do here as we broadcast to the aftermarket, but I'm going to tell you, and you and we've had a lot of discussions and bringing our great new partners in to sponsor the show. Frankly, it's a show, and it's a discussion point that can go beyond. So if you're learning something from Craig's show, speak up. You could probably give it to a friend, a peer, a family member. You can give the show. We're not talking about how to make money in this. aftermarket, we're talking about how to be a better communicator, period. So
Correct.
that's why I think I love the way that the show can climb up and out of the aftermarket and be a universal fit in the world.
Absolutely. As you've heard me discuss before, the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie. This is a substantial book, one of the first and best self-help books that existed in the world. And I think he makes one of the most profound points early in the book, and it's what all come to realize, and is what I've come to realize sometimes through painful lessons, is that there is no such thing as a neutral exchange. We always leave someone a little bit better or a little bit worse in every interaction. And as a leader, as an employee, as a father, as a son, as a brother, this is something that you always have to be aware of. That responsibility that we have when engaging another human being is huge. And if you want to have any positive impact in someone's life, and I hope that's what everyone feels towards their clients and family and everyone else, well, let's start taking our communication real seriously. Not so seriously that we can't laugh at it. We're going to do a lot of that. But this is it, right? A little better or a little worse.
Well, I bet you're going to talk about active listening, clarity, empathy, and really being a good listener. I said active listening because, active listening to me, and I learned a long time ago, is you really have to look them in the eye and you have to try to tune out the rest of the world around you. That's one of the toughest things to do.
I love that you mentioned listening first. Is the ability to listen is paramount to becoming a good communicator. And it's the most common mistake that people make when they first join a Toastmasters club. I'm guilty, by the way, of this. I want to join my Toastmaster club to become a better communicator, a better speaker. And this is what most people will say when they do that. And I think he was club president at the time, one of deeply respected members of our club and a good friend, Shane Sievers. He said, what you need to realize first about Toastmasters is that everyone comes to become a better speaker, but what you're going to learn first is become a better listener. It's like, okay.
Yeah, because I'll never forget when I joined. Of course, we built the organization. I'm one of the officers of the club. And after my first meeting, I said, wow, I learned so much and I didn't say a thing. And, I think it was you. I recently said this, maybe it was to you, or it was on a show recently. And I said, what I learned from Toastmasters was to engage brain before mouth.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like that was a Bill Nalu quote.
It could, it could have been. And that is where I believe the power of Toastmasters becomes, is that you almost want to listen to yourself as you're speaking, so that you could maybe slow it down, maybe to be clearer. And I absolutely have to say that Toastmasters has made me a better listener. I'm not perfect yet. I'm not sure we all will be perfect, but that has been a great learning curve of mine.
Yeah, which is so fascinating because you're involved in communication all the time. And you also, of all the people in this industry who are arguably one of the most recognized communicators, are recognizing that there's always room for improvement. And I love that. That's humble and thing to even admit. That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I think about this a lot. Thanks for bringing this up. When I first started, it wasn't about me, and it wasn't about my voice, and it wasn't about my platform. I needed to be an interviewer.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're an interviewer, even though you have an agenda, you have to be a good listener. And in the early days, Craig, and I know I'm sharing some stuff about, my learning curve. I wrote the questions down and I said, okay, so Craig, what about this? And I was reading the questions and I wasn't caring about what they had just said. And it took me almost like about 2 months to go back and listen to what I was doing. And I says, you are really a terrible interviewer. Because you more cared about getting your agenda done and not listening to them and then following up on that stuff. Yes. So as I was learning to become a better interviewer, I was actually learning to be a better listener.
That's beautiful. Written on my board, just you won't be able to see it here, but I have this phrase and I wrote it. It says, be curious, ask great questions.
Yeah.
if there isn't an interest in learning more about other people, communication fails. You have to have genuine interest in the individuals that you're talking to and try to understand their perspective on whatever it is. Otherwise, whatever you have to say may not connect with that person. This is like the stuff that we'll be talking about. First tip on this podcast is be genuinely interested in the other individuals that you're talking to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who it is or what area of life that you're in. If that is actually happening, the other person will feel heard and they'll feel respected. And you then have their trust and can even start to open the door to influence them on whatever it is that you want to talk about. That is prerequisite.
Well, we're so excited to have you on the Aftermarket Radio Network. We're excited to have Speak Up be one heck of a genuine part of becoming a better leader and a better spouse and a better communicator and a better father to wife, spouse, mom, dad. There's so much to learn with this thing. I think as we continue to find new shows to join, it continues to round out what I believe is almost like an all-world roundup of great people to join. You coming on board with the passion that you have about being a great communicator and your history in our industry, where you've come from and what you currently do. You're working for Autoflow and you are vice president of training, and you name it. You probably, Chris calls you and says, here, handle this for me. And you say, yes, sir, I'll have another.
Yeah, it's about that way. And I want to thank you for this opportunity too. I think this is a topic you've learned from me is a passion of mine. And this passion didn't originate just from myself either. It's a result of people like Chris, people like our friend Bob Greenwood, other trainers that I've been privileged to be friends with, guys like Eric Ziegler. I had early exposure to John Thornton training when I was in a technical background. I've witnessed amazing presenters over such a period of time that they're inspiring, and it just makes you want to become better yourself. And those people in your life are so key. I always like to think of this like, I need to become less now. I need to help others become as great as they can possibly become. And that's what I want this show to be able to do is, hey, we'll talk about some cool stuff. We'll talk about strategies. A lot of times you'll hear from me as I've learned some strategies myself and pass those on. But what I can't wait for, the thing I'm most excited about, is bringing other people on to tell their stories in an impactful way. I meet so many people that have such great stories and such great wisdom to impart, but they don't necessarily have a medium like this to share that. And getting to that point where they feel comfortable, for one, to be on here, do it, to learn myself, to ask great questions, to draw out the amazing things that I've heard in conversation for the benefit of a wider audience. Oh, there's so much reward in that. There's so much reward in that.
So now you've heard the passion, you've heard him say it. Stand by for a weekly show from Craig O'Neill called Speak Up. We're so glad to have you here, man.
Oh, thank you so much, Carm. And thanks to our listeners for subscribing on your favorite podcast listening app. Please subscribe, give me a like, and share with your friends. And remember, being a great communicator is a powerful personal trait that will make you a better leader, a better spouse, better friend, better sibling even. This is something that's going to be great. Now, reach out to me too for any show ideas. If you have any comments or suggestions, there's the Speak Up podcast here, and you'll have speakup@CraigO'Neill.net to email me any correspondence. And please listen to all shows on the Aftermarket Radio Network.com. Shows like Remarkable Results Radio with Carm Capriotto, business coach Chris Cotton, diagnostician Matt Fonslow, marketing experts like Kim and Brian Walker, and automotive CPA Hunt Demarest. I can't tell you how much I appreciate being that these folks are now colleagues as well. I'm looking forward to working with all of them.
You've been listening to Speak Up, Effective Communication with Craig O'Neill on the Aftermarket Radio Network. Follow Craig on your favorite podcast listening app and on his YouTube channel. Let him know what you'd like him to speak up about. Craig is all for advancing the automotive service aftermarket.